everyone. My name is Ritika Merchant. I'm a visual artist, and today I'm going to be answering a few questions for Avid Learning. So, a lot of my work deals with the human condition and what we experience, as well as sort of events that have happened in my life or things that have touched me. And I don't know, like currently we're living through this pandemic and I just feel like I'm in it. So I don't really know, like I'm still processing it. So it's a little too early for me to tell how it's really going to affect my work in the future. I'm sure it will find its way into my work and into the imagery at some point, My work's always been almost about self-soothing in some way and making sense of what's been going on in the world. So this definitely will find its way in some way. One of the things that has come out of this time is that I've experimented with a new technique. I've started incorporating paper cutting into my practice. At the beginning of the lockdown, I went and stocked up on a few supplies, but we didn't know how long the lockdown was going to be. So I wanted to be really frugal with like my paint and my paper. So I decided that I wanted to experiment with paper cutting, which just required scissors, and it didn't necessarily have to be watercolor paper. I could use whatever paper I had on hand. So that's definitely something that is like a direct result of this lockdown and a direct result of this whole period and how it's affected my practice. The artist that I think has always resonated with me the most is Kiki Smith. Her work has always represented the human experience through its relationship with nature. And she's such a multifaceted artist. She uses painting, drawing, sculpture, and she works across a variety of mediums. And her work is just so detailed and handmade, and just her hand is visible in every aspect of the work. And to me, it's just the way she uses symbols and the way she tells stories through her work is just really inspiring. So I have an interesting experience with this. 2 years ago, I collaborated with Chloe, a French fashion house, and I worked with them to translate my paintings and put them onto the clothes. And for me, it was a really interesting experience because for the first time, I saw my two-dimensional paintings turn into these three-dimensional objects, and the paintings became these like wearable sculptures, and it just brought a completely new perspective to like my practice and to my work. And so I definitely think that like collaboration is something that's really beneficial to an artist. Samir Kulabu recently did a collaboration with Nikoba, and it definitely is like a new avenue to bring your work to a different audience. In terms of continuing our legacies digitally, I mean, we're all on Instagram, we all have websites, and I do think it's a really important and free tool for us to showcase what we do and to connect with other artists. So I would encourage any artist to at least have some sort of online presence, because Chloe, for example, found me online. They found me through my Instagram, and it brought so much to my life. So I definitely think digital, like the digital future is something that it like democratizes art, because everyone has a shot at putting their work out there, and you never know who can see it. So art definitely has the ability to do this. I mean, if you just look at what Dhruvi Acharya has done, she, during this lockdown, has made a painting every single day, and she's used the proceeds of that to help people who've been affected by the pandemic. So, and there's also Quarren Charity that's been using artists and collaborating with artists to raise money. So art definitely has the power to impact change, to raise funds for people in need. And on a more personal note, I think most artists express themselves and like reconcile what's going on with the world through their art, and so it can be a really healing thing to do, especially in like difficult times. Making art is something that is just so soothing, and it just, I don't know, it just helps me so much. So one of my favorite pieces, and a really meaningful piece to me at the moment, is a painting that I made called The Path of Least Resistance. It's a triptych, and it features homing pigeons. Now, homing pigeons are a species of pigeon that use magnetoreception to find their way back to their nest. And for me, it was just so representative of how we all just want to go home, When you look at the migration crisis, or you look at the migrants now walking back to their villages, everyone has this innate desire to go home. And now at the moment, I'm actually quarantined. I'm locked down with my parents at my childhood home in Bombay, and it's just there's something very special about being home and like being where you're from, especially in a time of crisis. So this painting really resonates at the moment. Yes, I do think everything is going to be digital going forward. And I think it's actually a really good thing. There's been so many really amazing Zoom conversations and Instagram lives with like a whole variety of different cultural practitioners. And it's so accessible to everyone. You know, if you have an internet connection or your phone, you can tune in and you can listen to people talk about a variety of different topics. And I think it's actually going to bring a lot more knowledge to a lot more people. A lot of these lectures and seminars and also content you can find online is either free or really, really affordably priced. So I think this also makes it really, really accessible to a lot more people, especially younger people. I think a lot of artists and other cultural practitioners have been making a lot more content. You know, people are sharing behind the scenes of their studios. Galleries are organizing a lot of online exhibitions just to, you know, keep audiences engaged and share what we're working on. And so I think, yeah, at the moment things have moved to the online space. That being said, I think nothing will ever replace going to a gallery and standing in front of a piece of art and appreciating it that way. So I think the actual physical space of a gallery will always be relevant. The same with art openings. I think people always like to come and meet the artists. We love to talk about our work and like actually meet people. You know, we spend so much of our time alone in our studios. So openings give us the opportunity to actually engage with people who are coming and interacting with our work. So I don't think will ever be replaced, and I hope it isn't, because I think online exhibitions can only get you so far.